Hello. So I was kind of thinking about what would be my first video. And as I was thinking about kind of my journey with depression and suicide, um, I realized that I am not the best at putting things in order, like chronological or. And so when I am thinking about when things happen, sometimes I don't really have the way that it's supposed to be in order. So I might think something happened before this thing, um, and bless my husband and his patience with me with dates and memory. I don't know if it's why I don't have the best memory. There's times that he'll say things like, "Do you remember when we did this?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." And so I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like an early onset dementia. It ran in my family, so it's possible. So it's something I've always been kind of worried about. But so as I started thinking about, well, I need to kind of talk about my journey and at the beginning, and I was like, I really feel like I need to talk about the time that I got put on an antidepressant um, this last time that I got put on an antidepressant from my doctor because I don't know. I just felt that that was what you guys probably should hear first. So it was a couple years ago, and I also have hypothyroidism, and I have vitiligo, which means that I can't go out in the sun and get the amazing vitamin D. And so my body doesn't absorb vitamin D properly. So I'm on medication. I'll be on vitamin D for the rest of my life. And I'm on medication for hypothyroidism. And I've always had depression problems since I was a teenager. So I knew that something was going to have to happen. And I was going through really big depressive states that would last longer and longer each time I'd have one. And I was on a month-long depressive state. It was in the month of July, just a couple years ago. And it was rough. It was probably one of the rougher moments in my life, in my adult life at least. And I remember feeling helpless and hopeless and just thinking that my life would just be better. Not my life, my kid's life, my husband's life would just be better without me. That everything that I've been doing for the past month is hurting them, and I just can't do it. And people would say, just take a shower. Start with that. And it would just take me so long to actually get into the shower. You just need to exercise. Well, I could barely get out of bed and physically move my own body. I doubt moving as an exercise is going to help. But it was really hard. And the kids kind of always have this, if mom is depressed or she's reading a book, we kind of fend for ourselves for dinner. My sweet husband, who I don't always refer to him in very positive ways, but he really is amazing. He must really love me because he's had to put up with a lot with me, and I'm an amazing person. And I think he knows that the depression isn't me. I'm always going to have it. I've been working through it since I was 14 or 15. So I'm in my late 30s right now. So it's not something that's just going to go away. But so this month of July, it was just a couple years ago. And it was really bad. And It was in the middle of summer and my kids want to go do things. And I made excuses why we couldn't go to things. And as I started to climb up out of that hole, I realized that the last month was the worst and I needed to get help. I made an appointment. I went in and talked to a doctor and I got put on citalopram, just 20 milligrams at first. And it ended up getting bumped up to 40 milligrams about a year and a half later. And so this part of the thing with depression for me, this isn't the same for everybody, but part of it for me was that I felt that I was two different things. So one of the ways is that I kind of felt that I was in a box, and it was one of those two-way mirrors where I can see them, but they can see themselves only. And so they'd look in there and it's a soundproof box. And I'm begging for help. And I'm begging for them to see me, and they don't see me. And then the other way that I kind of view it is that I'm in a hole and there's a ladder, but I can't find the ladder because there's no light in the hole for me. And without the light, I'm not going to be able to find the ladder. And every time I would go through one of these depressive moments, in the beginning it was just a couple days, maybe, and then it ended up turning into a month long, where I might have a day or two that was good throughout that month, but the majority of it was not good. And so I have to find that light to be able to shine on the ladder. And when I can see the ladder, I can finally come out of the hole. But as time kind of started going, it would take longer and longer for that light to shine on that ladder. And I realized that last time that it's not, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this for my children. I can't do this for my husband. I can't do that for myself. I needed to change. And I've tried so many things that were over the counter. I've tried so many different things that I could think of to not go on medication, because in my mind, something was wrong with me if I needed medicine. And there was this video that my church put out, and she said, why can't Christ take this? If he takes everybody's burdens, why can't the atonement take this from me? And why can't he answer my prayers? And the doctor looked at her and said, why am I not the answer to your prayers? And it kind of hit me that maybe medication isn't so bad. If it can make a difference in me, it will be okay. People who are diabetic, they go on medication and it's okay. If their pancreas isn't working, for people whose hearts aren't working, for people whose thyroids aren't working, we go on medication to fix it. So why are we not okay with going on medication to fix problems with our brain? It's not something we can just snap and fix. Sometimes all you need is therapy. Sometimes it's a situational depression. A loved one passed away. You lost your home. You lost your job. Those are situational depressions. Those are things that happen in your life that you can't stop. And they just happen and they occur. And yeah, you get upset about it. You get depressed about it. You have a miscarriage. If a child passes away, those are things that you're gonna feel depressed about. And then there's times that your life is normal, that you're going through the motions of your life and nothing big is happening and you're depressed. And that's when medication helped, and it helped me. Now, I'm not saying in situational depression, you don't need medication. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's times that sometimes therapy is the only thing that you need. And, but for me, in my brain, that doesn't want to produce the proper serotonin that I need, it was time for me to get on medication. And it's been better. It has been dramatically better. I'm able to get out of those depressions a lot quicker. And then I had a surgery. In December, I had a hysterectomy. And my depression since then has been astronomically better as well. So that's just kind of what today's was about, was just why I ended up on medication. And I'm very passionate about people getting on medication. I am a complete advocate for anybody to get on medication. Not because I think that everybody needs to become on medicine. I think there's lots of things out there that we don't really need medication for. I think that some things aren't needed. My own opinion. However, there is a time and a place for medication for the mental health crisis that we are going through right now. And if you are depressed and you are suicidal and you want to talk to somebody, you find somebody to talk to. And if you need to go see your doctor, do not be ashamed. If you have people in your lives who will make fun of you for that, or who say things like you don't really need it, then you need to probably just not tell them and know that this is something you need in your life. Because for me, it changed my life completely. And I won't ever go off of it. Ever. And I'm okay with that. And my husband's totally okay with it. And my kids are totally okay with it. And they know that now, that when I do get depressed, it's not as intense and it's not as long. Like, I'm still in a hole, but there's a little bit of light and I'm able to come up. And I'm not in complete darkness anymore. So that is all I have for today. And hopefully I'll be able to come back in a day or two and kind of talk about the next part. I just kind of think about what is needed in this journey. What is needed in my journey for me to tell you guys about at that moment. And today I just really felt passionate about telling you guys about my reasoning for getting on citalopram. So I will see you guys next time.